So I was in Rome just 2 weeks ago, and one of the things that I noticed this time more than in previous times,
Mm-hmm.
and it really pissed me off, really did, and it's that these girls, these teenage girls, young adult women who were dressed risque anyway, would get their friend, they would pose in front of like religious art and rather seductive postures, and their friends are taking pictures of them so that they can post it on social. I mean, they were clearly like just trying to get like a great shot, and they're in front of a high altar.
Yeah.
And I was watching this thinking, I don't know if you're sacrilegious or just a moron.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know which one it is. And it's probably, they have no clue
what it is.
They're standing in front of something sacred. The idea that it would offend a believer, I don't think passes their brain. Like they're clueless. So I don't know if you saw that, but that was something that tourists, especially throughout Rome, it was awful.
Right. And I think, another thing out of that is that you have to pay to go into a lot of churches now, which is the concept of that is so weird.
It is weird.
And not just that, but over half the churches in Venice that I went to, and I called it church shopping. So I would go and we'd be in like Paris or we'd be in Venice or, wherever. And I would go out for half a day, a full day, and just pop church to church to church, whatever I saw. Half of them in Venice had been turned into museums.
They're museums.
Modern art museums. And not just like museums in the sense of their churches, but you go to, look at, like, they've been literally filled with modern art.
Wow.
And just ripped away from all the tradition and all the beautifulness of the church. And it's just a big building. And one of the most heart-wrenching interviews I had is I ran into a woman while I was in the church in Venice, some modern art museum. And I asked her, I said, what is this place? She said, it's a modern art museum. And I said, well, it's a basilica. And she said, it used to be. And I said, do you think that's sad? And she said, churches are for old people. And she said, museums are much more useful than churches. And this was probably a 25, 30-year-old girl. And I was like, that's just wrong. Everywhere you look, there's something beautiful. And it's just not appreciated or even understood.
I wonder if they understand that the faith actually spurred on all that beautiful artwork, at least the traditional artwork. I mean, not modern art, but all of these incredible artists throughout the history of the world that's made it readily apparent in all these beautiful churches around Europe. It was the faith that inspired this artwork.
Right.
I don't know if they get that. Young people probably don't get that.
I think tourists, people from America and from other countries who are visiting these beautiful places, they don't understand. They're ill-informed. The girls that were posing in weird ways in front of these beautiful sacred places, they're just ill-informed. And, they might be morons, but they are ill-informed. I think the natives there, the people who actually grew up there and grew up, with family and whose grandparents are probably practicing Catholics, they know and they don't care. Because again, that wounded child. I think they just see what the church has done. They only look at the negatives.
Hey, thanks guys for checking out the Conor Gallagher Show. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, or comment, or whatever you got to do to support it. And I appreciate that very much.